Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing Nuke.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. It's me again. Now, we're going to just dig right into it. Jermell Charlo is calling out Floyd Mayweather Jr. These are his direct quotes when interviewed and asked about Floyd Mayweather. And he's basically said, I'd take that tune-up fight with Floyd. He also stated, but he ain't going to step in there with no savage like myself. And also in response to that, he also tweeted out, if you ask me a question about fighting somebody, I don't care who they are. I'm not turning nothing down. Hashtag Lions only. That's a very interesting comment from Jermell Charlo, basically calling out Floyd Mayweather to be his potential tune-up in Tokyo. Now, there's a few things that we can just get right into it, but before we do, we just want to give you a little synopsis of who Jermell Charlo is. Jermell Charlo is a 154-pounder. He's a world champion, and he's 31-0 with 15 knockouts. His last opponent was Austin No Doubt Trout. He fought earlier this year, and he won that bout in a majority decision over 12 rounds. Did not stop Austin Trout, but did go to a decision over 12 rounds. That was a very intriguing fight. It also exposed a lot of flaws in Jermell Charlo's game, such as his inability to box accurately. He's basically a boxer puncher, not a great pure boxer. It was a very interesting fight in which he was a little bit panicked in the corner about not being able to get the knockout. And unfortunately, for such a good fighter who has so much potential in Jermell Charlo, he keeps fucking looking for the knockout. My thing is, you're a good fighter, you have a good skill set, just box and let it come. Don't force it, don't rush it, because when you fight other guys, you're going to fuck up. When you fight better boxers, you're going to fuck up looking for the knockout. That'll get your ass countered all night long. Now back to this Floyd Mayweather thing. He's calling out a Floyd Mayweather who's a living legend. He was a huge name, and he knows fucking well he's not going to get that fight. Let's be completely honest. There's no way Floyd Mayweather's coming back, going up to 154 pounds instead of 147, and then fighting a big man such as Jermell Charlo, an undefeated, huge fighter, and a power puncher. Now, I understand what you're saying. This has nothing to do with fear of Jermell Charlo. Let's not get it twisted. Jermell Charlo has very good potential to be a good fighter. But let's just make it known. There's no one on his resume that makes Jermell Charlo anybody to be feared by anybody in the division. I think a Kell Brook at 154 pounds could possibly upset Jermell Charlo. A Jarrett Swift Hurd could possibly upset Jermell Charlo. Just pretty much anyone at 154 pounds that has a boxing ability. Now, I look at the Jermell Charlo and Jarrett Hurd as a 50-50 fight. But if you look at the Jermell Charlo and Erislandy Lara, I would give that fight to Lara for the simple fact that I know that it would go 12 rounds. If you went 12 rounds with Austin Trout, I have absolutely zero fucking doubt that you'll go 12 rounds with Erislandy Lara, and Lara will get that victory. Erislandy Lara is also a previous sparring partner with Jermell Charlo as well, so he knows him very well. He's used to taking his power, and that's basically something that he's gotten used to with boxing, with Jermell Charlo, boxing a big man such as that. So this is no strange situation for Erislandy Lara, and I think that'll be a good matchup. But as far as Floyd Mayweather and Jermell Charlo, I don't ever see that fight happening. And I think that that's a coward move from Jermell Charlo to do it in a publicity stunt, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, it's a publicity stunt just for the fame and exposure. He knows the fight will never come to fruition. Floyd's just not at the point in his career where he's in his prime to be fighting guys like that. He's only going to fight guys who are inexperienced with boxing, or a very old fighter such as himself, such as a Manny Pacquiao. He's only in it for the huge paydays. Jermell Charlo does not do that. Jermell Charlo has no name. Jermell Charlo has basically just a fanboy club that cheers him on fight after fight. But Jermell Charlo's not even an extremely active fighter. Let's look at his record. In 2016, Jermell Charlo only fought one time. One fucking time. How the fuck are you going to be a star and you're fighting one time against a John Jackson? Who the fuck is John Jackson? In 2017, he fought Charles Hatley and Erickson Lubin. Good fights. But who the fuck are Charles Hatley and Erickson Lubin? Erickson Lubin is actually a potential prospect who stepped up too quick and got knocked out in the first round. I think Erickson Lubin does have good talent and good ability, and in some ways I feel like that was kind of a fluke shot that he took from Jermell Charlo. Not to take anything away from Charlo, he went in and got the job done. Good job. But who the fuck are these opponents? He's not taking big names. Then in 2018 he's only fought once, and that's Austin Trout. Where the fuck are your fights, Jermell? How are you going to be a star and you're only relying on calling out big names but not making big fights? He's fought legitimately no one significant on his record. Now, I remember Demetrius Andrade called him out, called his brother out, no fights made. Erislandy Lara called him out, called his brother out, no fights made. So he's had big opportunities to step up and fight the bigger guys, and he has not made those fights. He has not pursued those fights. But you're calling out a smaller, older, out of his prime Floyd Mayweather, rather than calling out young, hungry fighters such as Erislandy Lara, Demetrius Andrade, any of these top fighters. They're not pursuing them. You're pursuing Floyd Mayweather. You're going after a Floyd Mayweather who's going to do nothing for you at this point in his career. You're just looking for fame. You understand that that's never going to happen. Call out a current champion and beat him. Build up your reputation. Start your legacy. You're pursuing and saying things that you know is never going to fucking happen. Pursue the fights in your division. Beat the guys in your division and get this shit on the roll. Stop this little boys club that you fucking have with all these PBC fighters and get down to business. Get the fucking job done. Start beating some quality opposition, and then we can praise you. There's too many Charlo fanboys out there that debate me all the time on social media and tell me how great the Charlos are. But I'm like, if they're so great, who the fuck has Jermell Charlo fought? Name one fighter that's elite. I'll wait. Thought so. Name one fucking fighter in their prime that he fought. Don't worry, I'll wait. Austin Trout, well past his prime. Erickson Lubin, a prospect. Who else has he fought? Who the fuck else has he fought? Who has he fought? Gabriel Rosado, a journeyman. So when you had the opportunity to make these fights with Andre, even now when he's discussing a fight with Jared Swift-Hurd, that's not a fight that he's in a rush to make. We're almost at the end of the fucking year, and you only fought once this year. You still haven't fought an elite opposition, but you're out here screaming and yelling like you're the biggest, baddest motherfucker on the block. Everyone's ducking you. No one wants to fight you. Who the fuck is Jermell Charlo? He's proven nothing. He's done nothing. There is the potential that he could be a very good fighter. There is the potential that he could be a special fighter. But we don't fucking know that because he won't step in the ring with any elite or good opposition. His record is garbage. That is right. His record would be acceptable if he took a big unification fight with somebody, if he stepped in the ring against an Erislandy Lara, if he proved that he was this big bad motherfucker that he say he is. Show us. Show us, Jermell. Show us. Calling out Floyd Mayweather, basically trying to get publicity and fame off of that, means nothing because that's as far as it's going to go. You're just going to get a news article, and if Floyd Mayweather fought you right now, you're right. He'd probably lose. He'd probably get his ass kicked. Jermell is too big, too powerful, and Floyd has diminished greatly. A few years ago, Floyd in his prime would have absolutely dominated Jermell Charlo. It made him look stupid. Unfortunately, at this point in his career, Floyd is just too old. His skills have diminished too much that he'd be basically food for any top-level fighter, any good fighter, any B-level fighter, and maybe even a C-level fighter. Floyd Mayweather is just not the same guy. On skill alone, he could probably destroy anybody in boxing, but unfortunately, Floyd, you're going to need some foot movement. You're going to need some head movement, and it's going to be too much for him to last 12 rounds with an in-their-prime fighter who's bigger, stronger, and basically quicker at this point than Floyd. Floyd has diminished greatly. We don't know exactly where Floyd is, but that if that Conor McGregor fight is any indication on where he is at this point, this is not the same Floyd Mayweather that we've all known. This is a different version of him, an old version, and this is not a version that'll ever take a Charlo fight. At this point, I honestly think that Jermell Charlo needs to get a huge fight a big fight, and then we can go and say, okay, the guy's for real, the guy's legit. At this point, Jermell Charlo, shut the fuck up until you step up. Once again, it's the IBFP. Please share, like, and you must absolutely subscribe.